this review of the Alpinestar Toucan Gore-Tex motorcycle boots, and I had these for many moons now, and I cleaned them up a little bit so they look a little bit more presentable. They're pretty far from straight out of the box. Little disclaimer, since 1989 I've always had a Gore-Tex jacket, and I've been using it for a lot of hiking and skiing and mountain biking and in pretty rough areas. And the way I see it is by far the best waterproofing material out there. All the other ones, they're just a spray-on finish, while the Gore-Tex is actually a membrane, a Teflon membrane. And the thing with Gore-Tex is that as long as you have it, you need some space between your body or your skin and the Gore-Tex membrane, so you need some clothing between for it to be more effective. And what it basically does is that it's very porous, so it lets steam out because steam is very small, and it doesn't let water droplets back in. And that's why it's waterproof when you're walking in the rain, that the water doesn't penetrate from the outside, but the steam from your body, it'll let that pass through. And it's the same here on these boots. On these boots, they kept me both warm and dry, but with all the, I guess, the rubber plastic here, steam will come through leather, but it will not come through rubber like these little areas here. But all in all, in the beginning, when I started using these, it was a little bit hard to find the right gear when you're shifting gears, because they're very stiff. They're not as stiff as skiing boots. In the beginning, when I started riding with these boots, it was a little bit hard to change the gears because the boots are so stiff, but after a little while it's not a problem. Also, because they're so stiff, they're not the best boots to walk in, but they are very they're not made to walk in, they're made to ride a motorcycle, and they're made to protect your feet in case of a crash or if you fall over. And one of the things that's different from if you just go use a set of work boots versus motorcycle boots is that on good brands you get a little mark called CE and a number. I'll come back to that later. And that means that they have to conform to regulation, and they actually have to test the gear. So if you just go and buy regular work boots or do whatever, then they will not be as safe for motorcycle riding as safety gear or riding gear that are CE marked. And CE marked is the European regulations. So you open and close these boots by these little metal clasps. These are made of aluminum and plastic. And then you have Velcro on the top. And so what I usually do when I put them on is that I put on the Velcro first, then I tighten up the straps, and then as the buckles are in place, then I can back up and readjust the Velcro. I found that's the easiest. And the Velcro, these little straps here, they're made of plastic. They're adjustable, so you can push them in or you can pull them back out. So if you move the buckle away, then you can adjust it up in and out. And then once you bring it closer to the boot, then they will stay in place. On the back side, see, you have these little teeth. With the buckles, if you should manage to damage the buckles, they are replaceable. They're held in place by little bolts here, so they can be replaced if so needed. The leather on the boot is protected by rubber all the way around, on both sides, inside and outside. And it has plastic, I guess stiff plastic, and it has steel shank underneath. So that makes it stiffer to walk around, but most of the time you're riding around, and then in case of an accident, it's really helpful. It also has added protection at the ankle and at around the heel on the inside. and it has these little flexible that helps a little bit when you're walking, but it gives a little bit away, but it's more like a ski boot than a walking boot. The inner soles, they can be removed, so that'll help a little bit to dry them out if they get wet from perspiration. Part of the stiffness of this boot is a steel shank. That's a piece of flexible metal that's mounted between the inner and the outer sole, and it helps to give arch support. And when you're riding an adventure style motorcycle and you have to stand on the foot pegs for lengths at a time, even if you have small foot pegs like I have on my Yamaha Tenere 700, you can stand there for a very, very long time without having any problems at all. The Toucan boots, they come in whole sizes like 9, 10, 11, and in running shoes, sneakers, I wear size 11.5, so I opted to go off half a size and I bought size 12. The advantage of this is that in wintertime, when it's very cold outside, I have enough space for 2 pair of socks, just the thin inner socks and the thick wool hiking socks on the outside. And I find that I don't really have to adjust the buckles for winter or summer riding once they're dialed in. Motorcycle gear sold in the European Union after second quarter of 2018, they have a CE marking in them, and that's the European Union regulation for protective personal equipment. And here in the States you also benefit from this because the gear has to be made to certain quality standards and it has to be tested by a third party. Each type of protective gear for use on the motorcycle have a different number. That'll be a jacket, a helmet, or in this case, boots. The motorcycle boot has to be able to withstand a certain amount of impact at the ankle and shin area in order to also resist abrasion to a certain extent and be resistant to fuel and oil and to water. The EU regulations test the motorcycle safety gear for items such as abrasion resistance, so you don't tear a hole in the garment, and if you tear a hole, that the hole doesn't get bigger. They also test for seam strengths, that the impact is not penetrating and that the impacts are absorbed. But they also test for other items, that the garment doesn't shrink too much after wash and that the dyes are not irritating the skin. My conclusion on these boots is that I really like them. They felt very, very stiff in the beginning, but as the miles pile on while you ride your motorcycle, you don't even think about it after a while. The advantage of buying quality gear from a quality manufacturer is that you have to pay more, but you get gear that is safer because it's been tested and has been verified. And thanks to the European Union, it has to be manufactured to certain standards. Thanks for watching. Have a good ride. Please subscribe. More videos to follow.